And my name is Dominika Wróblewska, and I work also here for Gdańsk University for the Department of Engineering and Environmental Building and Environmental Engineering. And before I go to the more practical issues, I would like to put your attention on how complex is designing the resilient cities. Generally, how complex is designing urban design, and that happens because the space is not an easy case to cope with. It has a lot of features and components we have to take into account, and making it very to simplify the idea of this space, we can say it consists of dots, links, and dots and links are connected and are steady. And this is the physical image of the space of the city, let's say. And among these dots and links are people. And we design the cities generally to make people happy. We do everything for people. But of course, back in our minds, we have a lot of features of this space, which makes this design not very easy. And I am sure that all of you have tackled and met these borders. Space is diverse. What is nice, it makes it interesting, but also creates special conflicts. And it is resistant to summer moment, so it has the ability to return to its original state. If we pollute the river, after a few years, the river can be clean. But sometimes we reach the point where this resistance cannot be achieved. And we have to keep in mind this idea. Space is limited, so we want to have a lot of things in a very limited space, and it's very valuable. It means that we have to, before planning, we have to really carefully assess the environmental and social value of this space. And what is the worst? It's very dynamic. So it means that if we plan for next 100 years, it does not make sense. Today, it's not the same urban planning like 100 years ago. It's not the same. We have a lot of borders, constraints that makes us to design in a short-term period. So today we are rather to plan for like 20, 30 years because of this dynamic feature of the space. And beyond of these features, we have a lot of pressures we are tackled. Some of them are predictable, some of them are not. And from our experience, few years ago, we experienced the pandemic, which was unexpected event. And we had the chance to observe, I think, two things. How it changed the functionality and living and well-being of people in the city, which wasn't prepared for that, and how quickly we developed a lot of different technologies, tools, and solutions to cope with this. People say that in these last 10 years, we made a very big IT progress comparing to 30 years if we were to talk about this like 50 years ago. So we have natural disasters, we have conflicts, we have terrorism, we have migrations, and the cities should somehow be prepared for this. But we have also the pressures which we can predict. We know the trends, we know where we go and how the world changes or is going to change in next 20, 30 years. And this, I'm thinking about climate changes, for example, or economical patterns, or urban development, or how our society is getting older, at least in Europe. So we can assume that regarding climate change, the temperature will constantly rise, causes some disturbances for city, we can assume that European population is getting older and older, and there is no exchange of the generation. And we can also assume a very quick technological development. And all these things also impacts how we approach urban design. And we can say that the city is a kind of victim of itself. So it works, the city develops, it acts, but in the same time, it also makes climate changes by producing CO2. During previous presentations, you learned what are the causes of climate changes. And the city is one of the biggest cause of climate changes by itself. And on the other hand, it suffers from the climate changes, so it has to find the solutions for quick adaptation and quick regeneration. So it means that the approach is to create resilient cities. So the cities were individuals, the people, because we create the cities for happy people, and of course money, but generally for people, this is the best idea, to survive, adapt, or thrive. Anyway, what happens in the city? So this is very difficult, because if you want to design something, we act in the field of a very strong uncertainty, ambiguity, complexity, and volatility. So it means that we cannot find the best solution. We can only optimize the solution. And how to help ourselves? So when we approach to urban planning, we have to take into account and make some constant blocks, like we have to accept this first of all. So we cannot assume that if we design a solution, it can be a nature-based solution, we put it in a location X, it will work at the same level as it works today in next 30 years. Okay, because a lot of things will change. So how to design this, taking into account that things will change, and how to design it to make it a condition for this rapid regeneration. What tools we have, what approaches do we have, and for sure, what we can do now is to use a lot of IT solutions which are very helpful. AI is also approaching this urban planning very strongly. And we have to use the knowledge, the scientific knowledge also. We have to use the experience of other cities. So it's very good to join them in hubs, to exchange this knowledge, to exchange this experience, remembering that we cannot just cover it one-to-one. So if in city X something goes really well today, it does not mean that in our city it will be going also very well, because each city has its own circumstances. We have to analyze them. And we have to also go from global to local design and create conditions for self-organization. So create strong local networking. Then it should be easier. And so we said we design it for people, and the main topic is subjective well-being of people. So people will stay in the city, they will not leave the city if they have a good job there, if they have good conditions for rest, for activities, if they have a lot of opportunity very strongly impacts this subjective well-being. So the most popular strategies now, today, for urban design, thinking about the complex features of this space, thinking about these unpredictable events which may happen, thinking about these trends which we know from scientific reports and experience and observation and monitoring systems we cover the city. We have several strategies which we should implement in our urban design for resilient cities. So we have to diverse the infrastructure, think about the different supplies of energy, of water, of food. Do not just put all energy into one solution, but combine the solutions. Green and blue infrastructure, nature-based solution is also indicated as a separate strategy for urban design. So we have to green the cities and to combine this green and blue infrastructure. That's strengthening ecological side of the city, but also strengthens the health of people and well-being of people. We have to look more in local places in the city than think as a global city. We have to develop the collaboration and sharing the knowledge and link citizens with the city by this process. We do not want to ask people to come and participate on just a single project. We want them to be joined very strongly for a long-term engagement in designing the city and the functionality of the city. And besides of these 5 main digital IT implementation of IT solutions, it's also very strong. And it should be, because this is the way we are going to. So we are going to digitalize almost everything. It's like we have these competences now. We have this knowledge, we have tools, we have solutions. The only border can be the lack of money or the lack of using the knowledge how to use it properly, or what we can use for developing the city. And besides of them, there are some other strategies like climate response architecture, like mixed use and dense development, like inclusive design, like mobility and transportation, sustainable mobility and transportation, etc. But the main idea is go from global to local design and join the people with these local places and increase their awareness, collaboration, and try to make them be interested where they live, how they live, and what are the reasons that the city is organized in this way or not in the other way. People expectations are also very strong, and they want to feel safety, they want to have the opportunity, they want to be healthy, they want to have general prosperity and comfort. So resilient cities today develop a lot of units which are focused on this social context of the city. They control, they monitor the social aspects, how people, how they live, what is their economical status, how they rest, what are their patterns of living, what is their generally subjective well-being. And because there is the strong correlation between those two fields, it's very important to collect the data and analyze the data about these fields of interest. So there's the strong link between built environment and subjective well-being. We can learn this link by recognizing the traveling patterns, by leisure patterns, by work patterns, by social relations and residential well-being, and by how people generally feel, what are their emotions, and what is the state of their health in general. And so there are a lot of information we should collect, we should manage and analyze before generally we start to change something in our city. And that makes the urban planning even more complex. And so to assess properly this local environment, we have to focus on some steps. And first of all, to define the framework, what we want to change, why we want to change in the city. We have to identify the focus areas, and then we have to find out what are the policies, what are the requirements, what are the local circumstances, conditions, etc. And the analysis should build few scenarios which can be discussed, and the optimal can be picked up and implemented. I said that there is no one, not only the one solution for improving the place, the local place. There are a lot of them. And depending what are our priorities, so we have to also define these priorities. But defining priorities will be able if we define the barriers which we meet regarding both physical environment or social environment. And then we can, defining some scenarios, we can invite people, present this, and decide which solution is the best or how to improve this. This physical context data has a few levels, and we have to think about different things to learn about location. And even though we design we focus more on local area, we have to also find the links with the surrounding and how this surrounding impacts this local area. So what is the land use, the quality of the land use? What are the buildings, the structure, what is the density? We have to think and gather the data on environment, topography, vegetation, climate, soil, water cycle, and also the infrastructure, the technical infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, and how people behave in this area. Considering community context, we have to learn about the people, the citizens, the residents, the stakeholders, the people who have interest in this area, who they are and what are their strengths, what are their opportunities. We have to find out the culture and also social services and infrastructure. So we have to learn how they function in this local area. So we see there's a wide set of various data we have to collect before we start thinking about changing any urban local area. And this data collection is also a kind of chain which we have to process. So we identify the needs, so we collect them, so we have different resources, and we have to combine this somehow, this data, and then we have to manage them, and the result of analysis should be various scenarios. And then it's the time for implementation of the one which was developed. And maybe I'll skip this. What are the resources of temporary used in urban resilience building cities? The sources of the data which are free and which can be used by anyone, by administration. And I think no money is very crucial here. So first of all, remote sensing data collection. We have a lot of satellites which every day take pictures, and we have the databases of these satellite images, which are of various technical features, and we have various systems which are implemented all around the Earth. And thinking about 30 centimeters of accuracy of the objects, I think it's enough for urban planning. Satellite images, they have a very different data depending on the satellite system and on the database they are presented. And they have a temporal resolution from 1 day forward view to Landsat, which takes pictures each 16 days. We have different special resolutions, like the smallest one is for 30 centimeters, 31 centimeters, and the widest is approximately 1 kilometer. So this is the accuracy, yes, and we have also a good geometric accuracy and georeferencing, so we can these satellite images combine very well with geospatial referencing system, which means that we can make a very good orthophoto maps based on these satellite images. And here you've got some databases where you can take such a picture depending on the day, depending on the resolution, depending on and other features you want to define. And this is the one of the database which where you can look through the pictures or pick up such a picture. It's Earth Explorer. And there's another one, which is Copernicus. And here I just pick up randomly the winter flooding in the UK. So these pictures give us a lot of information on land structure, on some environmental problems we struggle in a specific location, and we can use them for further analysis. Mostly to join with geospatial data, which now in Europe are unified by the directive of INSPIRE. And that was a good idea of the European Union to define a database of geospatial data defined similar for the whole Europe apart from Switzerland. So it means that urban planning, spatial planning is very easier now in locations which are close to the borders. So, or along the borders of different countries, of different municipalities, etc. So we have a unique, the same system of putting down geospatial data into database, which is coded in the one way for the European Union. And the components of these geospatial data systems, which are developed now in each country in Europe, it's like the visualization is by a governmental interface. For Poland is GoPortal, and each country has such a portal which visualizes the geospatial data. And we can find there a lot of information. For the design, we need the maps, etc. But for draft approach, we can use very safely this GeoPortal data. We also can pick up them and implement to our GIS systems. So we have a lot of data there from physical structure, land use, but also this social context can be added, like population distribution, etc. And we have also a lot of IT solutions now, which probably you know and you implement also in your municipalities, starting from LOTS, which is Internet of Things. So it means that we have a lot of sensors combined and joined by internet to our servers, and then we can visualize the values from measurement systems, etc. We have a BIM solution, which is building information modeling, and I will tell more about this. And we have ECT, information communication technologies, which are more connected with internet IT platforms for joining information of environmental, physical issues and social context. We have also XR solutions, which we use for urban design. And it's not put here, but something which really links all of these things is the digital twin of the city. This is the solution or the tool for urban design, which is becoming more and more popular. And the power of AI is also becoming more important in urban design, as well as metadata management solutions. So thinking about IT solutions for creating resilient cities, we have a lot of different uses. Here are two examples of joining GPS data with looking for how people move around the city by observing their GPS from cell phones, and to define the risk management. And this is the case from India. Or we can join digital monitoring, sensors and cameras to the platform for real-time information delivery and support decision-making for the city in Rio de Janeiro. And if you look, I think, carefully at your municipalities, you will find you are using this solution either more or less for different purposes. And here, for example, drones were used for solid maps and giving the information on the soil and buildings information, and all of these things were connected just to cope with flood risk. We, due to IT solutions, we can look for we can combine different solutions to optimize our parts of urban design, of first of all collecting data, but also decision making. And thinking about these different systems, we can have a lot of application. Yes, risk management. We can gain the information about heat islands regarding the climate changes. Yes, so thinking about the resolution, if we have even the satellites of 30 centimeters, so we can define the temperature for the area of 100 meters per 100 meters with the accuracy of 30 centimeters pixel. We can find information on how sea level rises and how it floods the area using this remote sensing data, and then building the scenarios. So acquiring this data is very valuable if we know how we can use them and what path we can follow with scenarios for different localization of our city. And it's also good information that we can use cookies, which is also free, apart from the other softwares, not to mention S3 software, which is quite complex and very valuable, but also costs a lot. We can use quite good cookies, which has almost 90% of the same functionality as ArcGIS Pro, for example, developed by S3. So the administration, thinking about gathering the data, developing different scenarios using IT solutions, it's very good to reconsider implementation of this in your units. And GIS is very valuable because it helps you to not only to map, but to create also 3D visualization of the lands and to cope with a lot of different spatial analysis. And besides, it's very good for a communication where you can visualize the stakeholders, the community, the citizens, or the other units of your municipality, what you are planning, how you are planning. So it's a good tool for communication also. And you can do various kind of analysis. Here is just example from the project Mapping Urban Structure based on remote sensing data. So I think today, now we can ask any question and get the answer on this question using IT solutions. We have also remote sensing and thinking about laser images is one path, but we can also use animate real vehicles, which have their high functionality, thinking about local solutions. And if you have to test something, because remote sensing satellite images, sometimes they are not applicable because of the weather. If we have clouds, we do not see nothing which is from between, which is on the earth, because the clouds cover the image. So sometimes, and when you need the data from a specific date and you cannot find the image satellite, then you lose the information. So sometimes if you predict that in the future it's going to be not a good weather or in other circumstances, it's good to use vehicles. But temporarily now European Union is restricting the usage of drones. So it's only the requirements are considering labeling, like license for flights, like calibration of the sensors and cameras and the drone. But anyway, it's still the useful thing which you can use for finding the local temperature or light pollution or any other pollutions, and also maybe for taking the pictures with higher resolution than 30 centimeters. And one of the most the quickest developing technology is building information modeling. And I know you see the picture of the building, but this the visualization can be, if I tell you that Sopot is now making scanning for building beam of the whole infrastructure of waterfront and yacht port. So it means a piece of urban area in the city. These building models are BIM technologies becoming more and more popular, and it has a very strong importance when we think about building digital twins models, and where we join BIMs with GIS solution, and then we make a twin of the part of the city, because it's very costly, it's very energy consuming, thinking about supercomputings which have to cope with this amount of data, but still profitable for decision making and communication as a communication tool with stakeholders and publicity. But here, thanks to digital twin, we can build a lot of scenarios and validate them against our key features we want, or key goals, not features, but goals we want to achieve by designing part of the city or in a local neighborhood, whatever. So now we are observing how Barcelona is coping with this, and because they are using one of the biggest supercomputers, and they are building partly digital twins for some districts from some neighborhoods of Barcelona, and they use it for special planning design and urban planning design. So you can put a new building into this model and find out how this location, for example, will impact the surrounding, how it will impact the society, etc., etc. So, but from these complex, very complex tools, IT tools, we still have some very easy tools for developing some strategies. And one of the most popular is the SWOT analysis, which collects and analyzes the data from inside of the location and from the relation of the inside with the surrounding. But, and you can put here both physical context, environmental context, and the citizens context, the social context. And making the analysis, the SWOT conclusion will give you the suggestions for future strategies, for future scenarios of improving the place, thinking about the strengths and opportunities to use them for strengthening the functionality of this local place, and removing the weaknesses and the threats. But there are a lot of tools which are also free tools, which can be used for evaluating of and assessing the environmental and physical and social context. For example, urban footprint. Some of them are easier, some of them not. Some of them are only in English, but still, it's good to pick up one of them and use as a supportive tool, apart from the most popular GIS system. So a variety of tools can be sometimes too difficult to pick up the right one, but still focusing on the things which are not only concentrated on GIS systems, which are the most popular, it's preferable. And the last thing is I would like to just few slides, maybe 2 minutes, yes, on collaboration and this long term. engagement, not like public participation in some processes, but this long. So we said that one of the strategy for building resilient cities is exchange, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. And we can do it by creating the hubs which are open for all. And by living labs, probably as we'll have a presentation living labs. But I would like to give you some example from Rotterdam, which is RTM Rotterdam Innovation Hub, where different stakeholders and higher university can together via startups develop different solutions, and these solutions are visible for all of who are interested. So you can go there, you can look around, you can talk to people, you can exchange your knowledge, you can gain some knowledge, you can experience things. And that's how hubs work. And the idea is they are open for everyone. And the other solution is the Living Club. And the Living Club, the hub produces the new solutions for urbans, for society, for different purposes. But these solutions are not tested in real life. For real life condition testing the solutions, we built living clubs. And here I found the most wonderful, a living lab, which is in fact temporarily, but happens each year, which is Living Club Architecture Days, Food-top Days in Rotterdam also, where the roofs are connected and opened for the citizens, for stakeholders, for anyone who is interested. This is a one-week event, and this week Architecture Day is the goal is to present different solutions which already are implemented in the real life and they work for the buildings. And of course there are some extra installations how the things can be solved, and they work for 1 week just to share with the knowledge, inspire the people, and learn them to think in a different way about the city, even though they are moved from the street, from the bottom on the roofs, to see another perspective. It's such a strong emotion that it's stuck into your mind forever. And I think it's such a good experience that also makes people to be interested in things for a longer time, that not only for the short time. And let me show you one more slide from previous presentation before I go further to the next part of my presentation. How this long distance engagement, collaboration can be settled up in the city. And as a living club. And this is a case from TU Delft. It's called the Green Village. And each 2 years, the stakeholders here change. So for 2 years, one stakeholder can keep his test installation on the university, at the university area. Mostly here we have houses, but also solutions connected with nature-based solution. Here you can see on the photo on the right is the floating house. So people from the university have an office there, so they test this floating house as their own office, monitor the parameters and how they feel on this platform, because this is an innovation platform which is going to be constructed on the water, not put on the water, but constructed on the water. But what made me very interested in this living lab is that also people live there. The real people live there, and there's the house where this is the house on the right here, where there are two families living there for free, but under the requirement that they monitor the parameters and they share with their feedback with the university and stakeholder. And this is the house, which is zero emission house, and how they feel about this. There are some new solutions also implemented, and they have to be in a steady contact with the stakeholder and the university, and for this they can live there for free. And this is something because I visited a lot of living labs, but this is something new for me as a test field where the real family lives and gives the feedback. Not only scientists and stakeholder join their strengths to develop some solution and to test it in the real life.